Imagine this. You've had a disagreement. It could be about something trivial or something significant. Maybe it was about finances, household chores, or even something as simple as what to watch on TV. The topic doesn't matter as much as the aftermath. Maybe it was with your husband, your boyfriend, or someone you're dating. The argument escalates, voices are raised, and emotions run high. You both say things you don't mean, and then suddenly there's a pause. Instead of talking it out, they go silent. Hours turn into days. You send messages, make calls, but there's no response. The silence stretches on, becoming more oppressive with each passing moment. The silence feels heavy, like a weight on your chest. It's not just the absence of sound. It's the presence of something much darker. It's a void that fills the space between you, growing larger and more menacing. You start to wonder what you did wrong. You replay the argument in your mind, analyzing every word, every gesture. Did you say something hurtful? Did you cross a line? The uncertainty gnaws at you. You feel alone and punished. The silence is not just a lack of communication. It's a weapon. It's used to make you feel isolated, to make you question your worth and your place in the relationship. This isn't just a disagreement, it's a tactic, a way to control you using silence. It's a form of manipulation designed to make you feel powerless and desperate for any form of acknowledgement. This tactic is called the silent treatment. It's a deliberate act meant to inflict emotional pain. It's not about needing space or time to think. It's about exerting control and dominance. And it's a form of emotional abuse. It leaves no visible scars, but the wounds it creates are deep and lasting. It erodes your self-esteem, making you feel unworthy and unloved. It affects many people, but especially women. Women are often the targets of this kind of abuse, left to navigate the emotional minefield it creates. They are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered self-worth. This silence isn't about taking time to cool off. It's not a momentary lapse in communication. It's a calculated move designed to keep you on edge, to make you feel like you're walking on eggshells. It's a deliberate choice to hurt you with silence. It's about withholding affection, attention, and validation. It's about making you feel invisible and insignificant. It's about making you feel small and insignificant. It's a cruel and insidious form of control, one that leaves you questioning your reality and your worth. But remember, you are not alone, and you deserve better. The silent treatment is about power and control. It's a tactic used to manipulate and dominate the emotional landscape of a relationship. When someone chooses to give you the silent treatment, they are not just taking a break to cool off or think things through. Instead, they are deliberately withholding communication to assert dominance and make you feel powerless. It's not about taking a moment to think things over. It's a calculated move designed to make you feel anxious and uncertain. The silence is deafening, and it leaves you questioning what you did wrong, even if you did nothing at all. This form of emotional manipulation can be incredibly damaging, as it erodes trust and creates a toxic environment. It's about using silence as a weapon to make you feel insecure and afraid. The person employing this tactic knows that the lack of communication will leave you feeling isolated and desperate for their attention. This can lead to a cycle of emotional dependency, where you constantly seek validation from someone who is intentionally withholding it. When someone uses the silent treatment, they are refusing to acknowledge your feelings. They are dismissing your emotions and making you feel like your concerns are not valid. This can be incredibly hurtful, as it sends the message that your feelings don't matter. Over time, this can lead to a significant decline in your self-esteem and self-worth. They want to punish you by making you feel invisible. The silent treatment is a form of emotional punishment designed to make you feel small and insignificant. It's a way for the person to exert control over you by making you feel like you don't exist. This can be incredibly damaging to your mental health, as it creates a sense of isolation and loneliness. This type of silence eats away at your self-esteem. It makes you doubt yourself and your worth. You start to believe that you are not good enough and that you don't deserve to be treated with respect. This can lead to a cycle of negative self-talk, where you constantly criticize yourself and feel unworthy of love and affection. It makes you question your worth. The silent treatment is a powerful tool of emotional manipulation, as it makes you feel like you are not important. You start to question your value and your place in the relationship. This can lead to feelings of depression and anxiety, as you constantly worry about what you did wrong and how you can fix it. It makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do anything that might upset them. You become hyper-aware of their moods and actions, constantly trying to avoid triggering another episode of silence. This creates a tense and unhealthy environment where you are always on edge and unable to relax. The silent treatment is more than just a lack of words, it's a powerful form of emotional abuse that can have long-lasting effects on your mental and emotional well-being. Women are often taught to be peacemakers. They are expected to keep the peace, even if it means sacrificing their own needs. This makes them more vulnerable to the silent treatment. Studies show that the silent treatment can have serious effects on mental health. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems. The constant stress of being ignored can take a toll. It can make you doubt yourself and your sanity. It can make you feel trapped and alone. Section 4. Real lives, real silence. Let's talk about Sarah. Sarah is a young woman who, like many others, found herself in a relationship that seemed perfect at first. She and her boyfriend shared many happy moments, but things started to change gradually. One evening, Sarah had a small argument with her boyfriend. It was over something seemingly trivial, the way she loaded the dishwasher. He didn't like the way she loaded the dishwasher. To Sarah, it was just a minor disagreement, something that could be easily resolved with a conversation. But to him, it was an opportunity to assert control. Instead of talking about it, he stopped speaking to her. The silence was deafening. It wasn't just the absence of words, it was the presence of tension, a palpable wall that grew between them. For days, he acted like she didn't exist. He would walk past her as if she were invisible, leaving her feeling isolated and abandoned in her own home. Sarah felt confused and hurt. She couldn't understand why such a small issue had escalated into complete silence. The emotional pain was overwhelming, and she found herself questioning everything. She started to blame herself. Maybe she was too sensitive, maybe she overreacted. She began to internalize the blame, thinking that she was the problem. She thought, maybe I was wrong, maybe I should have just done it his way. The self-doubt crept in, eroding her confidence and self-worth. Maybe I should have loaded the dishwasher his way. She even tried to redo the task, hoping it would bring back the peace. But deep down, she knew it wasn't about the dishwasher. But it wasn't about the dishwasher, was it? It was about control. It was about making her feel small and insignificant. It was about asserting dominance in the most subtle yet painful way. Her boyfriend was using silence to punish her and make her feel small. The silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse that can be just as damaging as physical violence. Sadly, Sarah's story isn't unique. Many women experience this form of emotional abuse. They suffer in silence, feeling isolated and powerless. Many women experience this form of emotional abuse, but there is hope. Support groups and counseling can provide the necessary help and guidance. Speaking out and seeking support is the first step towards healing and reclaiming one's life. Section 5. Breaking free from silence. If you're being subjected to the silent treatment, it's important to remember, it's not your fault. You deserve to be treated with respect. Don't blame yourself for someone else's bad behavior. Their silence is their problem, not yours. What can you do? First, try talking to the person. Tell them how their silence makes you feel. Let them know that you're not going to tolerate being treated this way. Section 6. Building bridges, not walls. If the silent treatment continues, you need to set boundaries. Let the person know that you're not going to engage in this unhealthy dynamic. Tell them that you're willing to talk when they're ready to communicate respectfully. But until then, you're going to focus on taking care of yourself. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. Don't reward bad behavior with your attention or your silence. Section 7. Your voice matters. The silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse and manipulation. It's meant to control and manipulate you, breaking your spirit, but you don't have to suffer in silence anymore. Talk to someone you trust. Talk to a friend, a family member, a therapist. There are people who care about you and genuinely want to help. You deserve to be heard and understood. You deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Don't let anyone silence your voice. Stand up for yourself.